On today's video, one of the most useful flagships in Infinite Galaxy is the Artemis. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys why you want to have her, why you might want to max her, why you want to focus on her, and how useful she can really be, where you can get her, and all that good stuff. So sit back, don't forget to slap a like on the video, and let's go. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. As the Artemis itself is one of the most useful flagships in this game. If you're a spender, it's one that's fairly easy for you to get, and even if you aren't, it is such a great flagship to work on, to max on, to use. It is definitely one of the most recommended ones for you to focus on. Before we start though, again, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe down below. This video is sponsored by Infinite Galaxy. Let's talk a little bit about what the Artemis is. The Artemis is a kinetic shields flagship, which prioritizes and focuses on frigates. Frigates are the smaller, faster types of warships that are available, and they are the ones essentially that always make it into the fight first. The Artemis is meant to be a defensive slash shieldful focused flagship, and it obviously wants to carry with it as many frigates as possible. In the journey, you're going to want to consider finding a captain such as Michael Flamingo, for example, that'll give you even better boosts for your frigates as part of having a decent captain on deck. Obviously, our Flamingo is not as amazingly leveled up, but we can definitely keep working on his levels and get his captain skill even further up, which will then give him even more stats for the frigates. On top of that, on deck, we have a little bit of equipment going on, from kinetic weapons all over the place. We have a couple of the epic kinetic weapons we're already working on, and of course the blue ones that are at level 7, which is currently our max level, giving extra kinetic weapon damage to this flagship, which is a kinetic weapon flagship. As you can see right here, its first skill has a 10% attack boost on kinetics, and obviously you have warship armor, which is really useful for your frigates that are the ones that are going to get hit first and hit the most. It lowers down their range, so they got to get a little closer, but it doesn't matter. They're the fast ones. You gain more shield out of in this process, and of course frigate armor and shields go up like crazy. So this is definitely meant to bring all your frigates out. And frigates are the one type of fleets that you're going to be using that are quicker, that are useful for everything. They're really good for gathering as well. So you can be doing 2-for-1s. You can be training for war, but at the same time training enough frigates to also be able to gather consistently without an issue. A lot of people prefer to use them for gathering over other types of flagships. But in general, the Artemis fits really well the overall way this game is played, because it's the best legendary frigate flagship available. So you might as well get started from the beginning with the best possible one to have as a legendary flagship. Of course, there are others that might be a bit easier to get, because unfortunately the Artemis is a bit heavy pay to win. What does that mean? You're going to get a good amount of Artemis blueprints from the spending event, where essentially you can gain blueprints by just spending and getting X amount of Corium, and you get extra rewards. And Artemis was a huge reward out of that for a while. I was not aware of it, and so my Artemis is actually not that strong. It's only rank 4, but I started buying those during those events for the Artemis recently, and so I'm picking up the pace. With every level, you level up another skill, and of course, if we can hit rank 5, then, well, it will unlock frigate navigation speed and frigate HP, which will even further increase our frigates, which are really good. The best ways to get the Artemis is, of course, through the spending event. You can also go ahead, if you want and you choose to do so, to get the Trader Center and get yourself some of these nice blueprints. I mean, I can go 30 right here, right now, and pick them up for 18,000 credits and level up our Artemis once more. I'm keeping my credits for something else. As you can see, we have a stupendous amount of credits. So I gotta get those credits dumped out on other things. But for now, the Artemis is at rank 4. I would say at least get her to rank 5. That way you can unlock your final skill. As you level her up, you'll also unlock yourself more command for more fleets, and you'll be able to get more equipment, which is good. The one thing you should keep in mind is when you're doing frigates is that when certain tiers have different types of weapons on said troops, on said warships. So as you can see, the cruisers flip between laser and kinetic based on the tier. So a friendly advice to you is if you are at tier 7s, you might consider not necessarily going for the frigates, which are at this level missiles, and at tier 8s, they go back to being kinetic. One of the things you should consider when you're training troops, you're training warships, is that you want to try to get the warship to also have the same type of weaponry as your flagship does. Now, as I'm in tier 7s right now, as you can see, I have a boatload of frigates because I just ended up training a ton of them. But we have a ton of frigates, but they're all missile frigates. They're still going to do just as much damage. But if they were kinetic frigates, then the kinetic extra buffs we get out of the flagship would also apply to our weapons on the ships. So a friendly advice to you guys is, for example, with the Artemis, is you want to make sure you stay at tier 6s and get a bunch of tier 6 frigates and not what I did, which is tier 7s. And then again, at tier 8s or at tier 10s, you want to one-up that yet again. This is why we already have tier 8 frigates. We haven't unlocked tier 8s, but I keep buying the bundle every time it shows up just because of that. So we have some strong kinetic frigates to go along with our T7 missile frigates. Overall, I like the Artemis a lot. I think it's a great pick for a flagship that is a legendary flagship of a basic set of troops. It is extremely tanky. It has some good amount of shield on it. Not that much armor, but it's definitely shield based. Attack bonuses are really good. It is a strong flagship. We have almost double the HP from the extras we have out here. With extra, we've buffed up a little bit its armor. We have a lot of HP going on in this, but at the end of the day, we also want to reinforce a little bit further the shields. So we have a little bit of shield in here as well. But honestly, the Artemis, I like it. I think you should consider it. I like the way it works. I like the way it moves. I like the way it looks, and it does a ton of damage. And yeah, that's my thoughts on it. It's a really quick, brief video onto why you should consider it. Honestly, it has no competition. It is fairly achievable. And unless you really want to go crazy, and well, one day when maybe we get there, you really want to go crazy and you want to try to get some of these guys, perhaps, I don't know. You could absolutely take your Hercules and still go frigates. I mean, you have the Orion for frigates, which is literally a grayed out version of the legendary Artemis, pretty much the same exact flagship, but different colors. This one could be a little bit easier to modify if you get a little lucky with getting Orion blueprints, but I prefer going for the legendary blueprints. I would say invest in your Artemis. You will not regret it. Speaking of which, do we get a little bit of luck out here? We got 51,000 credits. Ooh, an Achilles. I want the Achilles. I definitely want the Achilles. And you can see you can keep getting Orions out of here. So an Orion for starters isn't necessarily the worst idea on Earth, but I would absolutely focus on your Artemis and not on the Orion. What do you all think? Do you guys use the Artemis at all? Are you guys upping it, leveling it up? How's yours looking? I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Appreciate you listening. Drop a like on this video. Subscribe down below. Make sure you join the Discord. And I'll see you guys in the next Infinite Galaxy video. Apologies this week. These videos are a little bit late. And I shouldn't be doing this, but whatever. We're a little bit late, but better late than never. Take care and have a good one. Peace.